So right now you can see exactly the charts I'm using, exactly the indicators I'm using, and exactly the strategies I'm using and the methods to trade and pass 3 prop firm exams or 3 prop firm accounts. So here's the first account exam, second account exam, and a third account exam. Now, to pass for $15,000 challenge, it is the 50K about. You need to make over $3,000 so you can cover some expenses like commissions. So each account I've done over $3,000 and I pass it in the same day. Now let's take a look. The cash value is increased from 50 to 53 and plus, and another 53 and plus, and another 53 and plus. So there's a plenty of room for me to pass each of these accounts. So I actually received the confirmation email from this prop firm. Now, how's it been done? Because you may think that I was doing it with a copier. Absolutely not. Let's take a look at the percent profitable is 75%, but the amount of the trades, it is over 128. Why there's been about 128 trades being done to pass these 3 challenges? Because each of these challenges or exam I have done one after another. No copier being used. After I've done first one, I start doing second, and then I start working on the third one. So each account passed manually. Absolutely no copier used. Usage of the copier can be absolutely dangerous. You can kill all of your exams at once. So my point is, you can do it manually. Is that possible? Absolutely yes. 128 trades done on the same very day. So the percent profitable wasn't too bad. 75+% profitable, and the total net profit, as you can see right over here, is over $9,400. So this is to have some margin, some extra, to make a guarantee I passed the 3 exams. Each of them requires about 3,000. So this is exactly the same charts you're seeing. This is exactly the same method I'm using in this video to pass 3 exams. I was able to repeat the same challenges again with exactly the same charts, with exactly the same indicators, and with exactly the same chart analysis and the method I explain on this very video to pass any challenges that I wanted to and pass it in a really good day, that it happens recently, and I've been able to repeat it, the same results again, and again. Isn't that not too bad to have a 75% profitable and pass 3 prop firm challenges at the very same day? And now you can take a look at the charts I'm using. You can look at the indicators. You can look at my chart analysis and what I'm doing, how I'm combining signals from the indicators on that very chart to have a very good precision entries into the long or into the short to pass 3 prop firm accounts at the same very day. So was it lucky day? Absolutely. It's not just a luck. It is a combination of the new mentality, how to trade the volume indicators, MBO, heat map, footprint, all of that integrated very professionally on the same charts. So I'm using the same charts to see the heat map, to see a MBO dome, to see a delta 1, delta 2, and when they combine it together, that produce absolutely amazing signals or cofactors to go to the long or to short, and you can easily see where to put your stop, where to put your take profits, not because somebody tell you you need a 1-to-6 ratio. No, you can see it live in milliseconds if the liquidity or a heat map or somebody on a level 2 is present and ready to challenge any price level. This is the key. You can see exactly what's going on right now live. And these charts are really quite good performing, fast performing charts. So I'm using the one single chart with all of these indicators united and integrated pretty well to trade that visually, to trade that easy, to see visual signals, visual cues, and see several cofactors at once to trigger my execution into the long or into the short, and to see precisely where to put my stops, take profits. And here is my cheating code. So you can trade so well that people will think that you are cheating while you are not cheating. You're using exact system like you're seeing right in front of you. Now I'm trading ES. I can trade NQ, or I can trade gold, GC. This is the futures. So trade any futures in the same way. The time frame that I'm using usually is 30 seconds, sometimes maybe 15 seconds or 1 minute. So choose whatever you like it. My favorite one is 30 seconds. Now, on the right side of the monitor, I have this chart with the mini ES, mini NQ, or mini GC. On another side, I have micros. So this is the micro, this is MES, MNQ, and MGC. I don't have all three of them. It is the example what kind of futures you can trade. Usually I trade gold. So on the left side I have a MGC, and on the right side I have a GC. So micro on the left side and mini on the right side. Now, how I'm using this chart simultaneously. When I see a really good situation on the micro chart, and I may enter into the trade, but sometimes I feel that, hey, that was too early for me to enter into the long. Then I wait a better situation, let's say another retest the same level on this heat map. This is the heat map level liquidity. And when I see, there's another retest and more conservative but more accurate entrance into the long, I enter the same position now on the mini. So this way, I trade micro over here, which is much safer to trade. And then when I feel more confidence and a setup, then I enter on the mini. So mini gonna give me much faster earnings to compare with the micro. But on the micro, I'm testing, I'm right in the groove. Do I feel the trend? Do I choose the trend correctly or not? So this way I'm protecting myself not to make large losses on gold, on a mini gold, and I rather prefer to have them on the micro. In addition to the all indicators that you can see on this chart and on this chart, you can see that I'm also using 10 range. Usually I'm using the 10 range chart for the same ticker, for the same instrument. So this is the 10 range chart, and this is the footprint pattern. I call it pigtail. You can find online a lot of videos where I explain the pigtail pattern that gives me confidence into the what direction I'm choosing my trades. For my take profits and for my exits, I'm using heat map, like this heat map liquidity sitting here for a long time, or this heat map liquidity sitting there, passive orders sitting there for a long time. Now, take a look. This is the heat map and this is the MBO, the exact very situation. Now, you can see that your stop loss you can hide behind the good liquidity that is above or below, and the same on the MBO DOM. This MBO DOM show you very accurately if the entrance, if you made the entrance right over here, is supported immediately on the MBO DOM, and there is other passive buyers sitting right here. They will support if the price will return back to this level, and the price will be supported again into the same directions because there's enough limit orders sitting here and waiting to re-enter. This is what I'm using for my stop losses, and also I'm using it for the take profits. I'm using a lot heat map like you're seeing over here, heat map over here, or I can see how many orders in a particular price level, and I can put my exit right before the large order sitting over here, or I can hide my stop right behind the large order on the passive side of the market order flow. And if you go on my YouTube video channel, you will see that I trade the same way every single time. So you can select any videos where I'm trading live with explanation, and you will hear me speaking about the same indicators, same setups, and same trading strategies. So watch any of my videos or watch this video to the end to understand the principles behind my entrances and my exits. I've just accumulated about $400 on the micro gold. Now we actually have a lot of sellers sitting right here, but the result of those sellers, we went slightly higher. If we're gonna find a support to continue to go higher, that means we're gonna continue. And what is the goal? The goal is at least this price. So this is my objective for the price, because I see the extension right over here, extended candle. We can come back into refill the action, what happens between the buyers and sellers right here. In the end, what we see over here, the previous fantastic close right over here, and then the price reversed it, went significantly down to find another support. But my point is this is the interesting session. Why is that so interesting? Because the market in the last 2-3 days falling down, 2-3 days, actually whole week. And at the Asian session, those who want to prevent a black swan event, they actually have a low resistance at the Asian session, and they're moving the price in opposite direction, because otherwise during the New York, the price was falling from the cliff, and it's ready to even really to demonstrate that it's gonna really strike down like crazy, because the economy and the situation, outside of the country, it's really insane. That is not in favor of the market. The market is ready to crash. Everybody is talking this week that we are ready to crash. You see, this is the buyers. I like them. So the buyers on level 2 and level 1, they're united here. That was the first one. Second one is about the same. Now we have the sellers united, but are they succeeded? Not yet. So this footprint really good for me to read this footprint, because I can see that buyers sitting right here. Not too many of them over here. So it's kind of like a still in a making. Will we find a support in this particular range? Too early to say. If I want to enter, I should rely on my pigtails. Pigtail pattern is telling, yeah, there is a support. W. Okay, will I get the better price? I need more evidences. So there's some buyers right over here, 3, 3, 5, and I see the positive delta. So the volume is actually slowing down, low, and now delta is negative, now green. So we looks like we are coming out of that rotation. I'm gonna enter. Okay, I'm gonna enter
Order
right
submitted.
over here.
Order filled.
Here we go. Let me go right there and hide my stop loss behind some heat map right over there, or even lower right over here. That'd be good, better position for my stop loss. Okay, now this is the absorption over here on this part of this candle, but this momentum is developing new momentum. Are we gonna go higher? Nobody knows, but that's what this candle is telling. I am aggressively going up, even higher than the previous stop. And when we're seeing the previous stop not this one actually, there was another top like even higher. That is intermediate, small kind of the scale or the time frame, because we're on 30 seconds right now. And let me see it. So we passed this seller zone, so it's no longer, the smart sellers are no longer smart although we fall down. This is our objective right there. That was the previous high top, and that's where we may go slightly lower, or we're gonna go significantly higher. That is the key. And I'm gonna wait. I need to wait until this situation get clarified over here. Who is taking upper hand? So yes, I see some buyers right on this footprint right over here with a blue color code. That is the imbalance. Of course, there's no sellers right here. No sellers show up right at the bottom. We already bypassed them. Now this POC is POC slightly lower, higher, slightly lower. Let's wait for this POC point of control, a maximum volume inside of this candle. There's some sellers show up over there, but it's like not really a big one. That's not a biggie. Okay, yeah, minus 17 delta, block right there. Who is going to be stronger? We need buyers to show up. Level 2 buyers show up over here. Yes. Level 1 buyers show up over here. So both deltas are positive. That's why this candle moved very strongly. When we're seeing the two candles united in the same direction and color, okay, here we go. This is a new development. That was the seller, and this seller end up with what? Let's wait until this candle get completed. So far, this negative seller, and this is a negative seller zone. This is a seller zone, but we right now higher than this seller zone right now for the moment, but we're still wiggling a little bit above this. If we're gonna go and keep ourselves here, that means that was absorption. Too early to say it. Okay, weak tail of the candles. Let's see, we need this pattern. So now sellers level 2, sellers level 1, sellers level 2, sellers level 1. Market speed on a sale side, market speed on a sale higher than the buyers. We need buyers to start talking. We need them to show up. Okay, we need them to show up. And let me hide it myself right here. So what it is, there's some, okay. Now the buyers starting show up on a delta 1, so aggressive side of the order flow. Nice. The delta 22, 32, 30, 14, so at least we have a positive delta. That means we have the delta on level 1. Delta level 2 is a little bit behind. Okay, there is some struggling right now, but okay, let's wait. All we need to do is wait. Let the price prove itself. Unless we're gonna pass this seller block, we're not yet. Okay, now we pass it. Okay, here we go. Now we have the open road to upside. There's a buyers right there. They show up at the very top of this. And so we're gonna come back into this location again. Now, yes, I know. Right now there's a red candle. I know. It's early to say, but we're going to come back into this imbalance zone. When this candle completed to finish it, and then this zone is show up, we're going to come back into this sitting in the trap buyers, which is easy to identify. When, I have no idea. Maybe now, maybe a little bit later. Okay. Now, how much can I afford to lose? Can I afford to lose 50 bucks? Absolutely. Can I afford to lose 100 bucks out of 400? Yeah, absolutely. Okay, here we go. Let's take a look at the bigger picture on the range. You see, we made a one attempt, second attempt, not successful. Now this is the low, the previous low over here and previous low over here. This is 2, and we'll see if we're gonna pass this support. That means we're gonna change direction if we're gonna pass that support. If we find that as a, okay, here we go. Now it's good on the footprint. The footprint indicator tells us that there is a buyer stepping in. Buyer stepping in right there. Really good. I love that. So the positive delta block 52 right here. 14, not too much. 41, 15, 15. Okay, we're steadily moving higher. Let me see. Yeah, peak tail pattern telling me that I should add another contract. Can I add another contract? Absolutely. I think I should. Yeah, I can do it. But it's going to be really aggressive if I add another contract. Why? Because there's a previous stop is not so far. Two previous stops. Okay, these two previous stops will be passed by. I think I can enter. Let me see if there's a better position for me. Let me see if there's some. You see, this is the green, 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 green on the level on the level 1 delta 1. This is on the level 2. This 2 green. Okay, I think I can enter. Okay, if we're gonna find a support in these 2 zones, that'd be nice for me to enter and add another position. Okay, here we go.
Order submitted.
I'm
Order
in.
filled.
So now I have 2 contracts in work. Let's now see how's it gonna work. Unexpectedly, we're moving a little bit lower. A little bit, but buyers showing up. Delta 1, buyers showing up. I love it. Sellers, delta was observed, I mean like 1, 0, 2, 0, 3, 0, selling 3, 2, 1. So they kind of like making less and less and less the volume. Uh-oh. I think I need to sit tight. And now I think we're going to show up. Are we moving up or are we going down? That is the time for us to reveal where we're moving. Yep. Now it's going to be a kind of like a final. It's going to be final. Yeah. If we're going to move and take over this previous top, we're going to move higher. So we release the sellers so they can close their positions over here. And now we're going to move higher. This is where I'm committed. And let's take a look at the bigger picture. What is going on today? This is whole day today, right? So you can see all of my trades with the greens over here, over there, over there. I started somewhere like where? Over here. So far, sellers prevailing at the moment. And if they're going to go lower than that, I'm not going to remove my stop loss. I'm going to take the stop loss as a given. But so far, right now, we are in a critical range. This range, or we go higher or we go lower. That is exactly where we are right now. This range. And there's going to be a tension. So the tension is, where the tension is? Right here. Right here. Because this is the smallest candle, right? So far, this is the smallest candle. Actually, right over here. So this is, and now the tension is built on both sides of this triangle. It needs to be released. And we're going to see it. We're going to see it. And in what direction? Because it's never predictable. I can project that we can probably, with this price, we can travel and close somewhere like, even like over here. But I'm going to be conservative and exit somewhere like over here. Okay, there's 2 contracts at work. We're releasing the power out of this tension. Yeah, we went slightly down over here, 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 here. And then, of course, this is the, now we're showing up. The buyers are showing up. Let's take a closer look at the footprint itself. What's going on the footprint? See, delta 2 is green. Nice. Delta 1 is green. Now, is that a pattern? Yeah, it's not just like one and another changing the colors. Uh-oh, these guys changed the colors. We'll see if they're gonna build again. Repeat it, because sometimes they need to breathe out. Sellers, okay. Was it absorption? This 20 was absorption. That's clearly because the price reacted on a way up and don't give the sellers to earn. Okay, now the buyers are moving up. Oh, nice. How good is to feel good when you're getting close to a confident exit. And this will be easy for me. But because the next position where the price is moving to is this liquidity, and there is an even larger one over there for a longer time sitting right there. So we may get chance to...
Target filled.
Here we go. Now I'm about $500. And what I'm about hour trading today on the micro gold. And many people saying, oh, micro gold, why? And give me a break. Why are you trading a micro? Because with micro, you may never lose your accounts. It's easier to keep your money management and not to risk overly too much. And you say, okay, now just $500. I'm trading about an hour. Yeah, about an hour. And $500 on the micro. I mean, what I'm doing is, and why I'm doing it, because I'm demonstrating that the skills are more important than the earnings. That's why I'm doing small again, small again, small again. The price is giving me a chance. So right now I see the buyers out there. I'm too late. This is clearly, I am too late. Will I catch the train? No. You see how many buyers right there? Oh, how juicy it is. You see, there's like, oh, there's a bunch of buyers right there. Oh, did I miss the train? It was absorption. You see this red rectangles? That was all of those buyers now in sitting in the trap. Will the price return over there? Absolutely, yes. Will it give me a better chance to enter? Let me take a look. I need to see it. Too early, isn't it? So that is the buyer's zone, imbalance zone right there. That's where we pocket second time. I mean, we pocket here right now, and we kind of like kick back out of that zone. Will we move higher? Yeah, if I enter right now, I can close myself over here as a closing, take profit position. But should I be careful? Should I say, hey, it's a good for me, $500 today? Pretty good. I feel really good. And just trading micro and gaining my skills, feeling good. You can see all my trades like there. And it's not just for me to show it to you, although I like that too, but I can make analysis. Is that was too early or was it too late? Was it too early? Was it too late? Let's take a look at this one situation, another situation on the left. So I can make analysis and I can tell myself, I'm aggressive or I'm passive or I'm actually good. I'm balanced. Okay, here we go. So that was go up, down. Okay, find a support up, but this top is lower than the previous top. That is the key. So now we're building like a M on this part. This is the M structure. This is the M structure. The most important part of this M structure is this point, by the way. We can do like that, or we can do like that. Okay. So, by the way, this is, I gained it by trading Forex too much. And I learned this pattern and how to take a look at this pattern. Really crazy. Now, let's take a look at the today's trading. How's my statistics is trade performance. I'm gonna do what? I'm gonna do today. Today, here we go. And I'm gonna do what? Today, I'm gonna do generate. Here we go. This is the statistics for today. And now we can see, oh, I made some losses and percent profitable is 91%. Let me make it larger. So this is today, 91% profitable. I lost one because it was probably my break even point or something of that sort. Anyway, winning trades were counted as 11 and it is a 91%. But I think like at least if I earn today about roughly $500 for about an hour, maybe hour 10 minutes, I think it's good. It's not too bad for me. And the percent profitable is 91. I'm happy with that. Although this is not like you can make smaller, shorter trades and produce the really good number. But I'm trading today the way I'm usually trade and I feel good. And the way I'm trading this morning is because market is falling down during the whole week, the whole market. Bitcoin is falling, the ES, NQ, everything is falling down. And that's happened on the New York session. When the Asian session, those who want to prevent Black Swan event, they find an easy opportunity to buy without too much resistance. So the New York, or maybe even in London session or New York sessions, they start to close their positions and sell. But now this Black Swan event not started. From here, it is regaining some position and now selling from here. So Now the movement over here from up to bottom or down is not that dramatic, and that's what the governments now in the United States concerned about, how to look better. And so this is last week, actually last maybe 10, 14 days. That's the main idea. So when the Asian session starts, they starting to buy, go against the grain because they know they will accumulate buying positions over here and start selling over there. So this is it's called a buy program when there's like a huge deep pocket institution is doing this buying in a behalf of the government that some enemies of the current government couldn't say, oh, we already should be in a black swan. Yeah, economy is deserve to be evaluated differently than the empty numbers on the reports, and especially with the situation, with the oil situation, while the oil is just going like absolutely crazy up, and now everything else is going down, and now it's accumulated, and the next reports on the news will be negative, very negative reports, because it's going to take 1, 2, 3, 4 months, and the next quarter reports will be very negative. The current government right now is playing the game, they're playing the market, and they want to show we're not really falling down too much, and they want to show that just a show off. Okay, it's basically a show off game, but you can make, if you understand this game, you can make on a way up like I have made today during the certain section of the Asian session. So when the New York is closed over here, the previous session is closed, and then and it was like over here going from up down, and then when the Asian session opened, there's some open range over here, and let this range to reveal, are we really gonna go up, or we are not really gonna up. So like yesterday, the price was just like going on a range, like very crazy up and down, but not very decisive. What we're looking for, we're looking at monodirectional, one directional market. And in this one directional market, whatever the direction it is, up or down, we see a factor predictability that we have a higher chance to in that directions to actually make on a pullbacks again and again. Yes, at the very every second, while the market is going insane right now, let me make this chart for this instrument larger. We must remember that the crazy direction in a one direction, it builds the channel, and this channel up, right, this one, not just in totality after we open. You see, we moved up, find a support. That was the first support, second support, third support. Now, boom, we're moving up. Now, this channel will end up most likely as a cliff. And this cliff will boom. I don't know when, but this channel, any channel, will be broken. That is, any channel is built for the only one sake, to get broken. And this channel, when we see that the price is going to cross this channel, side of the channel on the right, then we need to be like, yeah, my stop is ready to prevent my account to go to zero, okay, or a negative zone. This is the main strategy when we see the market is highly manipulated by the governments. At that time and this phase of the market, that strategy I choose to trade. And by the way, on the Monday support, every Monday support, I express my ideas. And that was another idea that I expressed it on the last Monday support webinar. And you see, it is working today. Now we start falling from the cliff. We'll see. This move, if we're falling down, can be very fast and very ugly. Yes, and it was absolutely perfect time for me to stop trading at that moment, because channel get broken really ugly, and the trend was changed dramatically for the rest of the day. With about what? Like you can see over here, it wasn't really bad. It was quite predictable, like this movement predictable, like this moment was predictable. and it was about 91%. Could you pass any prop firm? That's exactly what you saying right now on this very account. I'm showing you all of my accounts right here. I just passed 3 accounts. This is 1, 2, 3 accounts. And I traded exactly the same way. I sharing it with you. I closed all of these 3 accounts, 1, 2, 3, at the same single day. So $50,000 account, you need to make a 3,000. So they just open it for me. Okay, master account, 1, 2, 3 accounts. So I have the 3 master accounts. I passed them. I passed challenge in the same single day. Yes, it took me more than 40 minutes. It took me probably 2-3 hours because I was working manually, entering my trades manually. I don't do any copier software or indicators, whatever you call them. I've done it manually, and I closed 3 of them. Now I've just this account, you can see that it is about 632 because it was like about 100 I made previously. Now over here 528 in a gross profit, and they count only 500. I don't mind. Okay, so that is the cost for me to enter and exit from the trades, the commissions or something of that sort. That's how they call it. And so I think that for trading it today for about $400, I don't mind if I do it regularly, and it's going to be another account, another master account for me. My point is, could you close your prop accounts like that? Could you trade about $500 a day on the one account steadily and repeat this structure, these patterns, and the whole game again, and again? You see how predictable it is? 91%, I don't think it's too bad. And you can work to close any amount of prop accounts that you wanted to if you do it on the micro account. And your goal is, or let's say my goal is not to make money. My goal is trading with confidence and developing my skills. If I'm developing my skills, I know that I'm not making my profit by accident or by luck. So this is the strategy for me to close a prop exams or challenges for the prop accounts. And as you can seeing on my accounts, I closed 3 of them manually, exactly the same way that you're seeing me trading today. So sometimes, like, I take a time to talk. I take a time to, breathe. I take a time to, drink my tea or something, and I'm not participating. Like I saw that I was too late over here, too late over here, too late over here. But you see, the market is moving 62, 62, 64. Is that the same, dude? Because these trades, it's called the smart trades. Why? Because it's a large institution, and we not just detect the size correctly, because the other indicators, anywhere when you can see a indicator that's called the big trades, everybody like big trades, big trades, big trades. Big trades are not, most of them couldn't correctly reflect actual institution behind. Only when you have the MBO, and this we decide not to call a big trade, but the smart, because you see the zone for this smart trade is the wider than the bubble itself. Why? Because we know it started right here and ended over here. This 62 or this 53, it took actually only 2 or 3 ticks. But this 62, it took larger distance, too much between the aggressive side and the passive side of the market. Okay, this 21 was actually really wide for 21. This 62 was wider, of course. It took larger distance, too much between aggressive and the passive side. So we know when they started. We know the zone is not just like for visual cue, it is visual cue, but it is correct detection. Like we're saying right over here, again, 62, and they are not by error or not by random. These two 62 about the same size, because we detect them precisely and correctly. So the smart trade indicator is better precision than any other previously known as so-called a big trade indicator. And I'm telling you, on any platform. Why? Because we detect this is a really true detection, correct detection, and we detect more trades and more accurately because we identify each tick, each matching between the aggressive and the passive side by the ID, okay, which is due to us. We first one on the NinjaTrader developed the MBO engine, and based on the MBO engine, you can build indicator like that because you can see the ID of the each order. Yes, even on the aggressive side. Yes, exactly. So that's what our MBO engine is capable to do, and that's why there's no any other big trades or trade detectors or large trades or institutional trades. People name them, just for marketing purposes, but there is no other indicators underneath the ecosystem or even outside that can match precision that we have with this indicator. And we decide to name it as the SMART because SMART is the large institution. Many people don't know because they used to like SMART, it's mean the ICT. No, the ICT is not always smart, but that's what people know. It's kind of like culture, and SMART means also large, big. So we call this indicator, as you can see, 62 here, 62 here, as the smart trade indicator that is capable to register large institution, large orders, and also you can see that there's a couple colors. One of them is the big trade or big institution. Another is a high frequency trading. And we detect that correctly, and we can see that there's some high frequency trading created a big trade or a large or a smart trade, and we identify it with two slightly different colors, like this is the sellers right now, right? And we identify it by the colors and make a difference between the high frequency smart trade and the individual smart trade. So this is a brand new indicator we released just like a few days ago, and it is most accurate on any platform you can count today, and you can test it, by the way. You can test it. Okay, and this is because of the MBO that we develop it for the Ninja. We're the first one who developed the MBO engine. And welcome to join and see other indicators, like there's the icebergs, there's a bunch of other indicators. But the point is, what you're seeing right now on this very screen, and why I'm so excited, you seeing the heat map, okay? Usual colors for the heat map is like a blue and red and orange. This heat map is, you can see, this is the sellers in a red side, on a red color scheme, and the buyers on the green. So it's very easy for the new person, especially for the new person, to make like a quick visual difference between the sellers and the buyers. Buyers are green and sellers are red on the level 2. This is level 2 sellers. This is level 2 buyers, like you're seeing on the MBO DOM. And this is something that not many people actually understand, that this is the buyers, passive buyers, limit orders sitting right here on the MBO, and we can see each order. We can see how many, what is the volume, how many orders on a particular price line, and we can see when they spend time as a heat map. Heat map show us with the different colors longevity, or the amount, longevity by the time, and the amount by the higher, a different tone or different color. Like this is 26, this is what, 32. If this one is like only 11, this darkest one, okay, only 11 or 7. So we hide it with our special programming. We hide it the colors that are less important and easy to see, but you can see like this one. This is the part of this is a micro, this is a mini gold sitting on top. That's a second heat map with the usual color scheme that we used to. Okay, anyway, we have a very advanced developed heat map, and the package called Ledger. This is clearly an alternative to any heat map on the NinjaTrader platform. And this is alternative to the bookmap heat map, because this one is a complete integration. What you're seeing right now, you're seeing a complete integration, and you're seeing how I traded footprint right on the heat map. Smart trades or big trades right on the heat map, not clutter it like they have, like a book map. You can't even see. You can't. It's really hard to make any decision for where you put your position and why. But you can see the icebergs as well. I can turn on the icebergs on the same very chart. So you don't need too many charts like people have. I don't know, they probably have a broken neck or the rubber neck when they have like a 5 monitors and look for the heat map over there, for the footprint over there, for the other indicator over here and the other over there. You can see all of these indicators that I'm using, most useful indicators, on the same chart and trade from the same chart. This is absolutely a miracle for the NinjaTrader. By the way, when people, let me finish that because this is so important. Many people like, oh, Ninja is slow. You know why the Ninja is slow? It's slow in the hands of the people who get a garbage indicators, third party indicators that they get on some junkyards, you know what I mean? Or get absolutely free versions that is not correctly produced indicators, not optimized. But this is what you're seeing right now. It is the institutional grades. And this institutional grades indicators is the fastest in the Ninja ecosystem, even beyond. We are faster in terms of like at the New York Open, extreme times of volatility. This is the heat map, and you can use the other color scheme, by the way, if you wanted to, blue and orange and white, not just what you're seeing here. By the way, if you need my template, let me know. I can share it with you. And you can see all of the indicators integrated. Okay, this is the level 2 delta. Level 1 delta, bid and ask and volume, speed of market, market speed right here. This is 3 indicators. When they align it with the same color, with the same movement direction, you know that is the most powerful signal you can ever get. And when you see the buyers on the footprint, like this footprint zone, buyer's zone, imbalance zone right over here, or you can see that zone over here as well very clearly. Yeah, I can reduce amount of the indicators. I don't want to show you too much of the parakeet kind of colors or Christmas one, but my point is here, you can make it much clearer and crystally clear, but you can have all indicators that you need to trade on the same chart. So market speed, delta 1, volume indicator, 2 of them right here. Delta 2, this is the delta from the passive side of this, pulling and stocking. That's what this delta shows. You can see MBO DOM. You can see the heat map. You see this heat map was over there for a long time, somebody was sitting there and price never came and touched it because it was a strong and long time. But you can see if any price level on the heat map is still there. And there is a really good signal when the candle is like this one is rebounded, but you see immediately it's become it shows the support on the level 2. That means price really gonna go higher confidently. Okay, I can show you like this one, for example. You see there's a heat map sitting there for a while, and this heat map price, like there's a 20, was originated right after this candle. That is a great support. You see, after this location on this candle, price moved higher, and moved like significantly. So there's a few patterns between the heat map and the footprint, between the heat map and the MBO DOM, between the heat map and the smart trades indicator, between the level 1 delta and level 2 delta, between level 1, level 2 and deltas and the market speed. There's a few patterns that people who never use these indicators, never even know about those signals that you can get on the same chart that you are trading your accounts. This is the fastest ever performing heat map footprint. And it's not just a fast, it is integrated for performance, integrated for the institutional grade of performance. So now if somebody want to say, oh, the Ninja is slow, here's the solution for you. Delete everything what you have on your Ninja. Get out. Install very clean from scratch Ninja Trader platform and install this indicator, and then call me and tell me, is that slow or this is beyond any expectations of the trader. If you never used that before, welcome. Now you're in a club of the professionals. This is institutional grade indicators, and that gives you a signal on the chart, or signals, or to correctly to say, it is cofactors that you can use to identify, when you need to step in, enter, and execute long or short, or where is the best position for exit to take your profits. So this is something that many people, even on Ninja, never experienced it before, never, because they don't know. By hiding their trades with the Renko charts, which is nice, and some people make money with that, or hiding behind the Elliott waves, which is nice, and some people make money with that, or hiding behind the price action, which is nice, and I love to do that as well. And I made tons of money with the ICT and all of this smart concepts, smart trading, and order blocks and FVGs. But when you're seeing the FVG and imbalances on the footprint over here, you will never come back, because now you can see the X-ray, what is behind the Elliott waves, what is behind the order blocks, what is behind anything, any strategy, because now you can see and dive deeper, and you can see X-ray of the charts. And that gives you a better educated decision to make. Why you're getting into long or short, why you execute, and why you exit where you exit. This chart gives you much more signals, because now you can see all the depth. You can see the depth of the level 2. You can see what people call the level 3 or MBO DOM, otherwise, market by order on the right side DOM in real life charts. Okay, this type of the DOM you probably never seen before, but this is absolutely the best and fastest performance on the MBO DOM you ever can find, and it's visual indicators. Okay, now all of these indicators are integrated together, and it can work in your hands if you handle it, if you not just use it as a signals, but you try to gain yourself skills and you decide to be a professional. If you decide to be a professional, welcome. For every Monday, I have a support webinar, and I can answer any questions that you have. Okay? And by the way, don't buy any indicators until you're absolutely confident that you understand what it is and why it is for you. And by the way, for every indicator, we have a manual. We have, for every section of the indicator, we have a manual PDF that explains part by part. We have videos, how to tune, how to set up every single indicator. And I have a bunch of examples like right now in front of you. So you can watch my videos and you can see that I'm repeating the same patterns, the same type of trading again. Okay? And I hope you will find the time to ask me any questions that you have. This is, you really want to be a professional and use the professional grade indicators like you never used before.